Hello everyone, we're back over here learning Bobekama, Daf Tzadik Dalet. We're going to start Daf Tzadik Gimel Amud Beis. The Gemara is going to tell us that there's a bunch of Tanoim who all hold that a certain aspect of Shinui is not koina. Says the Gemara about 7 lines up. Omar Abai Rab Shimon ben Yehuda, that's one shitta. Bei Shammai the second shitta. Rab Loza ben Yaakov the third shitta. Rab Shimon ben Loza the fourth shitta. Rabbi Shmuel, the fifth shitta, they all hold kulas virilahu shinui bim koima oimed, that shinui is not koina, and Tosfos explains that it's different levels of shinui. Maybe Beishamai hold shinui at all is not koina, each one leshitosoi. Rabbi Shimon Yehuda Hodarmon, we learned before on this page, they hold that shinui of tzavoi is not considered a shinui when you paint the wall. Beishamai Mahi, what's the source of Beishamai doesn't hold of Shinui? The Tanya Nosan Lochitim Bisnona, someone gave a woman for forbidden relationships, he gave her wheat, and the woman made it into flour. Zaythim, he gave her olive, and she made them into shemen, into oil. Anovim, he gave her grapes, she made it into wine. Tonichade also, in one place it says that it's forbidden to bring from that into Beis Hamikdash as a korban because it's called the Esnan. Betanya Idoch, and in the other bright it says Muta. Omar Rabbi Yosef, and Rabbi Yosef explains, Toni Gurion de Asperik, Gurion from a place called Asperik explains, Beishamai Oisum, because the whole Shinu is not koina, that means even here that there's no Indian of Kinyan, because it's a woman's, it means it's considered still the same chayfetz, and it's also to the Mizbeach. The Shinu doesn't make a transformation. What's the source of Beishamai? Omar Kro, in the Pasuk of Esnan, says Gam Shneim. So the Gam is coming, the rabbis, to include Shinuyim, even if you made it into something else, it's still also as a Esnan. Besilel Omar Kro, it said in the Pasuk, Heim. And we darshan veloi shinuyim are not what you changed it into. Ubeishamai hoksiveim. What are they going to say from the word heim? So the Gemara umiboile heim veloi vlad, they're saying that if the woman got a sheep and had a baby, so the baby is mutter to mizbeach. Ubeisile lecher also need to learn that. So the Gemara tatishmas minovik, from heim you learn both. Heim veloi shinuyim, them are not what you changed it into. Heim veloi vlad, they're saying them are not the babies. What are they going to what is the Gam coming to tell you? So the Gemara Gam le Besilel Kashya. Gam, we don't know what Besilel darshan from Gam. Okay, so we know that Beishamai also hold that Shinu is not koiner. Rabbi Loza ben Yaakov Mahi, what's the source? Rabbi Loza ben Yaakov says that Shinu is not koiner. The Tanya we learned in the Brisa. Rabbi Loza ben Yaakov Oima, Areisha Gozal Saw Shel Chitin, someone who stole an amount of saw of wheat. Tochna, he cut it, made it into flour, losha, and then he did the dough and baked it, and now he was mafresh challah. Like when you bake something, you need to be mafresh challah. How should you make a bracha? Says Rabbi Loza ben Yaakov, someone who does a bracha on this, it's not bracha, it's a shtech. On this, it's the pasuk saying, "Boitzea," someone who steals berach ne'etz Hashem, and he makes a bracha. He's going against Hashem. Such a person should not make a bracha. Or lecher, he's koine b'shinui. He stole it into wheat, and now it's already a piece of bread. Afiloch, you could see, we look at it as the same chayfetz that he stole, and shinui is not koina. Rab Shimon Loza Mahi, what's the source of Shimon Loza hold shinui is not koina? The Tanya we learned in the Brisa klal the Omar Rab Shimon Loza. This is the rule that Rab Shimon Loza said, Kol shvach sheishbeach gazlin, anything that the gazlin made this animal better, yoda al elyoino. He has a better hand. Roto noitir shvacho, if he wants, he could keep the benefit and just pay for the chayfet. Roto imar lo yeshachol fanecho, he could say, take it back. My karma, what does this mean? Omar Absheshes och karma, this is pshat. Ishbicho, if he made it better, noitir shvacho, he keeps the benefit that he made and he only has to pay back the amount he stole. Kichesh, if he made weak the animal, it says here, take your cow, the shinu b'mekoyim oimed, because shinu is not koina, and therefore it was kochash b'rishus bailim. Frag the Gemara, Yochi, if shinu is not koina, afilu ishbiach nami. Why, when you made it better, you are koina? So the Gemara, Amri mipnei takona fashavim, that's a special takona. Really, shinu is not koina. We have a special takona that if a ganev stole that to make it easier, because if he invested in it and made it better, he say, I don't want to give it back. You won't do tshuva, so we make it easy for him to make tshuva, and we say you only have to pay what you stole. Rabbi Shmuel Mai, what the source of Rabbi Shmuel holds the follow the Tanya. It says in the Brisa, mitzvahs peo lafrish min hakoma. The mitzvah, there is a mitzvah that we say every morning at 8 var she'en l'shir peo, and the mitzvah is a corner of the field to give to the anim, like peo of your hair. Peis, it means a corner of your head, and here it means a peo of the corner of your field. So mitzvahs peo lafrish min hakoma, when it's still all in the field. Lo yifrish min hakoma, before you cut it. Mafrish min ha'omrim, after it's small bundles in the field, you could also leave a corner of bundles to the anim. Lo yifrish min ha'omrim, if you didn't give it when it's small bundles, mafrish min ha'keri, you could give a corner of the big pile at the end. Ad shelo mercha, before he smoothened it, and that's considered gmar melachot min chayiv trumas u'maisers. Marcha, if he smoothened the pile, meiser, first you have to give meisers because it's mechuyev b'meiser now, and only afterwards he gives it to the anim. Mishum Rabbi Shmuel Amru, in the name of Rabbi Shmuel, he said, Af marfish min isav v'noisen loy. Even though they became a piece of bread already and he baked it, he could still give challah. Sorry, not challah, peo. He could give a piece of it or one loaf to the anim as peo. So we could see even they did a shinui, that he stole it from the anim, it still looks, we still say it's mechuyev b'peo. Omalei, our papa Abaye, our papa told Abaye, Ichbul kol anan tanoi, these tanoim all ganged up together, lashminin ke b'shamai, to tell you that halachas like b'shamai, we know we don't normally paskin like b'shamai. Omalei, ochi kormi, this is what they're trying to say. Lo nechleku b'shamai, u'besil badov aveh. These tanoim hold, they even besil agree that shinu is not koina. Omarova, mimai, how do we have a raya? Dilma ad kan, lo yikomer ab Shimon Yehuda, that on Tzadik Gimel Amud Beis Hosom Elo Betzeva, when he painted it in the wall, oil v'ochel avri olidei tzofoy. That's why it's not shinu, because it can be machzer to the original color, so it's not shinu she'enu choiza. Bad kaloi kamri Beishamai, and the whole reason why Beishamai holds shinu no koina Hosom Elo Logovoya, because it's too much to bring as a carbon mishum the imis, because it's already mos. So even if you make it from wheat into flour, it's still mos. Bad kaloi kamri Rabbi Lezer ben Yaakov Hosom Elo leinin bracha, because you're making a bracha mishum the avele mitzvah above aver. It's a mitzvah above aver. We don't want you to make a bracha. It's talking about that shinu is not koina when he made the weak, because it's talking about a weakness that could become better again. If you feed the animal good again, he'll get back to his first state. It's not called a proper shinui. That you chayv peo even from a loaf of bread. Because it says an extra tazav, it says twice tazav, tell you that even if you made it into a loaf, you chayv peo. Let's learn from this peo to other thing that shinu is not koina. No, matones anim shani. Matones anim have a special din. Says the Gemara, the boy Rabbi Yonasan, like Rabbi Yonasan had a shaila. The boy Rabbi Yonasan, my time in the Rabbi Shmuel. Why did the Rabbi Shmuel say that? Mechuyev peo from a loaf of bread. Mishum de kosava shinu in a koina. Is it because you stole it and now it's yours? So and sorry, it's not shinu is not koina. So even if you did a shinu, so it's not koina, and therefore you still mechuyev peo. Or dilma ba'alma kosava shinu koina. Really, shinu is koina. V'hoche, and here why you chayav from this loaf of bread? Mishum dechsiv tazav yitera, because it says an extra tazav. So there's no really raya from any of these tanoim that they hold shinu in a koina. Says the Gemara, "Ve'intim tzeloima." If you want to tell me, Tama de Rabbi Shmuel, mishum de kosova shinu ein koina, because shinu is not koina, not because it says an extra tazoiv. Tazoiv is the kosova rachmana lomali. Why did it say extra tazoiv in the pasuk of peo? V'tu and more so l'rabbanon who don't hold that you mechuyev to give peo from a loaf of bread. Tazoiv is the kosova rachmana lomali. Why did it say twice tazoiv by peo? So the Gemara answer on that, mi boile the Tanya, you need this extra tazo if we all learned in the Brisa. Amafki Karmoi, someone wants to trick, and he wants to do Hefka's whole vineyard, and Hefka's potter from Trumas Amaisis, and then Veishkim, he woke up early in the morning before anyone's going to be zoich in it, Laboika in the morning of Bitzrei, and he was zoich in his whole vineyard again. So does he pat himself that way from all matnas kuna and matnas anim? Chayev beperet uve'olos u'b'shikcho u'peah. He's chayev on all these matnas. U'potem in a ma'isa your potter. And the reason the difference is, Rashi explains, is because by peret u'olos u'b'shikcho u'peah, it says each one of them, it says twice tazov. So it's coming to tell you that you only potter if it's mamish hefka, but if you're doing a trick hefka, no, then tazov yisera is still mechuyev in these things. And therefore, that's why it says twice Taziv Bepeil, that even if you mafkir it and you're zoichin it straight away, you're still mechuyev Bepeil. L'chora, the Gemara doesn't really answer this shaila of Rava to Rapapa, that l'chora we don't have a raya that they all hold Shinu Koina. The Gemara leaves it over there. Omar Rabbi Yehuda, Omar Shmuel, Aloch Reb Shimon Elazar. Rabbi Yehuda says in the name of Shmuel, Aloch Zak Reb Shimon Elazar, like what we said before, that if he stole and he became weak, he could say Reish L'chol Fonecha, and if he becomes better, he keep it. Frag the Gemara, Mi Omar Shmuel, Ochi did Shmuel say the follows, Omar Shmuel, Ein Shomim Lo Legane V'Lo Legazne, Elel Nezokim. That Shmuel said that if someone stole something or robbed something, you don't estimate to see how much the value is, and you tell him, oh, give back the value of what you have, and just pay the extra from what you stole. Only l'nezokim. If Reuven was mazik Shimon, so we look at Shimon's damaged item, we say how much is Shimon's broken item worth, and then he has to pay the difference. But in the other, by Ganev Gazlin, no, you don't do that. That means he has to pay the full item by Ganev and Gazlin. You stole a good cow, pay back a full cow. We don't say, oh, now the cow's worth 50, so give back 50 and another 50.
Did you put socks on the laundry machine?
Bishlei Malerova, no, I didn't. So the Gemara, Bishlei Malerova. So Bishlei Malerova the Oma, who says Kika Omar Reb Shimon Elazar Hosom, when Reb Shimon Elazar is talking about over there about the animal that became Mukhosh, Hosom Bak Chosha Dohodar, that it's talking about a type of weakness that could come back and become strong again. Loi Kashya, it's not Kashya between Shmuel and saying Aloch like Shimon Elazar and this other din of Shmuel. Kikom Aloch Reb Shimon Elazar, the Shinu min Koima Oimed, that Shinu is not Koina, is talking about Chosha Dohoda, and a type of Shinu that could come back to the first state. It's not proper Shinu, that's why Shinu is not Koina. The Chikom Shmuel ain't Shomim Loi Legane V'Loi Legazden, it's Elen Ezokim, it's on Bak Chosha Dohoda, and a Shinu she'eino Choiza. Be'elo la'abaye, but lefishit es abaye, the Omar Kika Omar Reb Shimon Elazar, that you could say Reish L'chol Fonecha, Bak Chosha D'lo Yehoda, even a Shinu she'eino Choiza, Kama Mai Kilemei Malachari, to steer between the two psokim of Shmuel. It says the Gemara, Abaye Masneochi, Abaye will tell you like this, Omar Rav Yehuda Omar Shmuel. Rav Yehuda says in the name of the Shmuel, not that Aloch of Reb Shimon Elazar, is that Amru Aloch Reb Shimon Elazar. That some people say Aloch Zak Reb Shimon Elazar, but Shmuel himself doesn't hold the Aloch Zak Reb Shimon Elazar, and therefore it's not stira because Shmuel himself doesn't hold like Reb Shimon Elazar. He holds Shinui is Koina. Omar Reb Chia Bar Abba, Omar Rabbi Yochanan. Reb Chia Bar Abba says in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, Torah midoraisa gzela nishtanes. Even if you did a shinui chizeres beino, you could say a reish l'chol lefonecho. Shenema, because it states in pasuk ve'eshi v'sagzela asher gozal, a redarshening that he stole mikol makoim. However state it is, even if it was a shinui. If you ask a kasha from our Mishnah, and Daf Tzadik Gimel on base, a fish Mishnah and a goizel eitzin, that it says that shinui is koina and you don't have to give back after shinui. The reason is mishum takonas hashovim, because if we tell him that he has to give it back now after it went up in value, after I had the baby, so he won't want to give it back. So we want to make it easy for him to give it back. So we say, oh, takonas hashovim, you pay as you stole. But really, midoraisa, you have to pay with the baby that was born. As the Gemara, Mi Omar Rabbi Yochanan, did Rabbi Yochanan say the following, that shinui is not koina, v'Omar Rabbi Yochanan aloch gestam mishnah, that we paskin like a stam mishnah. V'tnan a stam mishnah lo ispik lisnu lo yatz tzovei. The mishnah we mentioned before, someone who before he gave the kohen the wall, he painted it potter because he's koined b'shinui. But if we say that the posuk's mechadish you that you're not koined b'shinui, so why you potter from Reishis Agez? Omar lo Omer Rabbanon. This Talmud Chochem. Rabbi Yaakov Shmei, and his name was Rabbi Yaakov. Ledidi mifarshli minei Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan explained it to me. Ki goin shegoz al eitzim mishupim v'asom kelim. Our Mishnah is talking about where he stole wood that's already sanded and he made it into a chair. And it's not proper shinui because you could make it back into pieces of wood. That's why the whole reason why in the Mishnah your koina is only miknei takonas hashovim. But in the other Mishnah where Yitzavoy, your coiner it is because it's a proper shinu, because it can't be chayzer to be the original color. And when we said Veishiv Sakzela Shagoda Mikon Mokoy Mechara is only by shinu chayzer lebriosoi. Toner Rabbanon, we learned in the Brisa, Rabbanon learned Gazlonim, robbers, Mavi, Ribis, people who lend down money with interest, Sheikh Ziru, who want to pay back their robberies or the ribis that they took. We don't accept it, we don't take it back from them. And someone who does take it from them, Chacham are not happy with him. Omar Rabbi Yochanan said, B'mei Rebbe Nishnes Misnazdu. This Chiddush was said in the B'mei Rebbe. Why? The Tanya, let's see. We learned in the Brisa, Maisa Be'odam Echad, there was a story of one man. Shabikesh Lasses Tshuva, he wanted to do Tshuva, he was a big Aslan. And he wanted to do Tshuva, he wanted to return all his items. Omar Lo Ishtoi Reiko, his wife told him, Reiko, empty. If you do tshuva and start giving back all your gzeles, even your belt is not yours. Well, you're gonna be penniless. And he stopped himself, and he didn't do tshuva. But in that time when they heard this story, they made the takana gazlonim that people who steal malve ribiois, people who lend out in interest, sheikh ziru, who want to give back the vela or the interest, we don't accept it back from them. Someone who does accept, and Chachamim are not happy with him. We ask a shaila from a brayse. It says in Niachloim of Moish Ribis, Yaakov was Yerush money from. Reuven was Yerush money from Yaakov. That's Ribis dika money that Yaakov charged as interest. Afal pishin Yedim shen Ribis, even though the Reuven and Shimon know that this money came from interest, forbidden way of making money. They don't have to give it back. So we medayik inu deloy. Mashma. They don't need to give back the Ribis. But if the father is still alive, he needs to give it back. And we're saying that we don't take back from Alve Beribis. Says the Gemara, but Dinu really in Lefi Alocha Davim Nami Enu Chayav Lachzi. Even the father, if he's still alive, doesn't have to give back the Ribis. V'hodik Toni, and the reason why it says Bedidu about the Yershim, Mishum de Kaboyin Lemisne Sefer, because it wants to say in the Sefer and the Braisa, a different case. In Yach Lohem of Paro, the father left them a cow, talis, or cloak, we called over Mesuyim, something that's specific. That they do need to return. Why? Because everyone knows that this cow used to belong and it came to their father in a forbidden way, so it's not covered for the father. So that you need to give back. So Chiddush is even the Yershim need to give it back if it's covered the father. So that's why we talk about the Yershim. But Enochinami in the Reisha, even the father doesn't need to give it back because of the takana of Rebbe. Tana Reisha, that's why in the Reisha also Nami Bedidu we're speaking about the Yershim. Says the Gemara, why do you have to have covered for such a father? Ikri Khan, it says over here, that you shouldn't curse out someone who's a nasi in your amcha, and we darshan boise mais amcha. That's only if he behaves like a Jew who keeps the Torah. But this person who's malbe beribis, he's no oise mais amcha. So why do you have to have any covered for him? Says the Gemara, like our Pinchos said about something else. It's talking about. It did tshuva. So also here it's talking about Ochinami. Also over here, B'shasa tshuva, the father did tshuva. So the Gemara, Yasa tshuva. If the father did tshuva, my boy gabe, why is this cow or tzitzis or a cloak or whatever it is still by him? Why didn't you return it? So the Gemara, he boiled ladur. You should have given it back. So the Gemara, Shloi ispik lachze at shemeis. That he never had the chance to give it back, and he did tshuva and he wanted to give it back, and he died. So now his kids have to give it back because he's not a Rasha anymore. Toshma, we learned in the Brisa, Gazlonim, robbers, Umalbe Beribis, people who lend money in interest, Afalpi, Shagovu, even though that they collected the money, Machzir, they have to pay back to the loive the money they stole, or the money that the loive Beribis. So the Gemara Gazlonim, it says, okay, Malve Beribis we can understand, Afal Pishagovu, even if they took the interest, they have to give it back. But Gazlonim Maishagovu Ike, what Gvir is Shaykh here? Oi Gozul, if they stole, Gozul, it's stolen, Veiloi Gozul, Loi Gozul. If they stole, they stole, if they didn't steal, they didn't steal. So the Gemara, Le'ema Gazlonim, we learn it like this. Robbers, Umaynu, what type of robbers? Ma've beribis, people who lend money in interest. Afal pishagovu, even though that they claim the money and they claim the interest, machzirim. They have to pay it back. So it's a kasha to what we said before, that Ma've beribis, we don't take back the money from them because that it should be easy for them to do tshuva. So the Gemara, Amri machzirim, yeah, they need to give it back. Ve'ein mekabli mehem, but we don't accept it from them. So the Gemara, why do they need to try giving it back if we're not going to accept it? So the Gemara, that they shouldn't have a tain against the Mishamayim because Me'ekadin, they need to give it back. They say, no, I tried giving it back. The guy was moichel me. Toshma, we learned in the Braisa, Royim, shepherds, vagaboyim, and people who collect money for the king. They take taxes, and sometimes they take extra taxes for their own pocket. V'amoichsim, and people who take money at the border. Tshuvos on kosher, it's very hard for them to do tshuva. Umachzirim lamakirim, and they have to give back. So why they're hard to do tshuva? Because they steal from so many people, they don't know who to give it back to. Umachzirim lamakirim, the one they know that who they stole from, if they remember, those they have to give back the money they stole from. And we said there's a takana that they don't need to give back. So the Gemara is saying, Teretz, Amri, Machzirim, yeah, they have to give it back. But the person who was Nigzal is not allowed to accept it from them. Velo lemay Machzirim, why do they give it back? Lotzes Yotei Shemaim, Yotze Midei Shemaim, that they said that we did all we can to be Machzir, the person didn't want to take it back. Yochia Mai Chuvosam Kosher, why is it hard for them to tshuva? Anyway, they don't have to give it back. Void Ema Seifa, another kasha, it says in the Seifa, B'Shein Makirim, if they don't know who they stole from, Yasiba and Tzochet Tzibur, you should do stuff from it for the public. V'Amar Rav Chizda explains what type of public stuff they should do with it. Boris, wells, Sichin Umoris, different types of water reservoirs that people should have where to drink in Rishus Harabim. So you see, they do need to give it back, literally. Elo, so the Gemara loy kasha. Kan koydin takona. This price so that they have to give it back, and Chuvosam Kosher is koydin takona that we said that you don't have to give it back. Kan lachar takona. What we said the Rebbe is after takona that they made, they don't need to give it back. Said the Gemara, V'ashod Omer Rav Nachman. V'shein zele kayemes. Now that Rav Nachman said that the whole din that you don't have to give it back, this takona of Rebbe is talking about, especially when Ein Gzele Kayemes, whether what they stole doesn't exist anymore, but if what they stole still exists, for sure they need to give it back. You could say they both talking about after the takana of Rebbe. V'loi kasha, and it's not stira, kan b'gzele kayemes, by the shepherds and the tax collectors, it's talking about where it's still existing, and that's why you need to give it back. Kan b'shein gzele kayemes, the price of Rebbe is talking about where the gzele doesn't exist anymore. And Tosfos explains that by Royim, the Gzela Kayemes, it's not about that they stole from that they took the sheep to other people's fields. No, that they stole some milk and wool from the sheep, so and it's still Kayem by them. As the Gemara Havnei, the whole story of Rebbe, what was it talking about? His wife, the wife told this Gatlin, even your belt is not yours. Mashma, she stole the belt. It's still in front, the belt is still here, and we still say you don't have to give it back. So the Gemara, my avnet, when it says avnet, it doesn't mean literally avnet, it means me avnet, the value of the avnet, the money that this belt you bought with stolen money, but the money doesn't exist anymore. Ask the Gemara, you're telling me when the actual gzela still exists. There's no takana for shovim to make it easy for them. Very morish, a plank of wood, they put it in the other beam in your house, a gazlin, the gzela kayemesi, it's still there in the house. But now we learned in the Mishnah, ala morish, a plank of wood, a gozel that you stole, shabonu babura, that you put it in your house. They don't have to break your house and give him the piece of wood back. All you need to do is you pay him the value of the piece of wood. You don't need to break the house and give him the actual piece of wood. So we could see even if gzela kayemes, there's takanas hashavim, not like what we're saying. So the Gemara Shaini also, it's different. They came and they could say the Debira, since if I have to give back the piece of wood, I'll have to break down my house. Shavir Rabbanon Kedeleser, Rabbanon looked at that plank of wood as if it doesn't exist anymore. But normally, if it exists and it's not in the house, it's just in your safe, give it back. If it doesn't exist, Rabbanon says there's a special takana for shovim, and when you put it in the house and you need to break the house, it's as if it doesn't exist. Shkoyach, everyone should have a very blessed week.